The story starts with a boy named Se-hun, who is a very popular high school student because of his intelligence and calm nature. But one small incident turns his perfect image upside down. One day, while sleeping on the bus, his drool accidentally falls onto a girl's phone. The girl misunderstands, thinking he is drooling while staring at her, and slaps him in front of everyone.
너 변태니? 미쳤니?
A photo of that embarrassing moment goes viral, spreading all over the internet and instantly ruining his reputation. At school, Sehun's best friend Ji-hun, who has been with him since childhood, teases him about the viral photo in the canteen. Irritated, Sehun storms off, only to bump into a girl named Yu-gyung, a gentle and talented member of the music club. From that day on, Sehun can't stop thinking about her and decides he must fix his image. His chance comes when the club captain, one day, invites him to join his team for the upcoming student council election. Seeing this as an opportunity to restore his reputation, Sehun agrees to become one day's vice president.
형이랑 성어 뛰는 거 별로냐?
네, 선배님.
The next day, a troublesome student named Namgyong draws a vulgar sketch of Jong-hee and shows it to Sehun. Offended, Sehun takes the drawing and hides it inside a music file. Namgyong, who used to mock Sehun by showing his viral photo everywhere, starts backing off after seeing his growing closeness with Wondae. The next morning in class, Ji-hun comes to Sehun and expresses his desire to join the council. That same evening, while they sit outside a convenience store, a popular student named Sang-hyun approaches them. Though Sehun is cautious at first, Sang-hyun's friendly behavior quickly wins him over. He advises Sehun to meet Chief No from Jang Academy, promising that just mentioning his name will secure him a spot in the prestigious class. Later, Sehun witnesses Jong-soo and his friends smoking in the bathroom. But soon after, Sang-hyun steps in and reprimands them, earning even more respect from Sehun. However, Sang-hyun secretly dislikes Sehun's partnership with Wondae for the election. As time passes, Sehun's confidence slowly grows, but it breaks when his midterm results fall sharply. Worried about disappointing his mother, he turns down Ji-hun's offer to fake the grades and decides to visit the academy to improve.
내가 도움을 좀 드려봐?
너 이번에 올랐어?
숫자만 싹 바꿨지.
Using Sang-hyun's name, he manages to get into Kevin Sir's full class, where he notices Jong-hui, the top student who always keeps to herself. When Sehun shows his results at home, his mother scolds him lightly but then encourages him, saying that with hard work, he will do better next time. She then explains that she joined the club after being invited by the head of the Parents Association, hoping to support him better. The head of the Parents Association turns out to be none other than Sang-hyun's mother, who speaks with Sehun's mother about supporting her son in the upcoming council election. Influenced by her words, Sehun's mother advises him to join Sang-hyun's team. But Sehun, loyal to his promise, refuses to betray Wondae, who first offers him the vice president position. Later that night, when Wondae asks for his recommendation for the female vice president, Sehun suggests Jong-hee's name, believing she would make a great partner.
하유경, 괜찮을 것 같아요.
The next day, while Yoo-jun chats with Sehun about his plans after becoming vice president, Namgyong overhears and storms off in anger, complaining that he has followed Wondae's orders for months, only to be replaced by Sehun. Soon after, another student, An-tae-oh, reveals that Wondae has also asked him to be vice president because of his good grades. Confused by these revelations, Sehun is called to the teacher's office, where he learns that Wondae never really chooses him first, and that he is only a backup option. The teacher also mentions that Sang-hyun has spoken highly of him, saying he wants a vice president just like Sehun. Feeling betrayed, Sehun decides to switch sides and officially join Sang-hyun's team. Meanwhile, Wondae keeps calling Sehun, unable to understand why he left his team, but Sehun avoids his calls. When Ji-hun learns about the sudden change, Sehun gives no clear answer, leaving his friends suspicious. Ji-hun does not trust Sang-hyun's overly smooth behavior, but Sehun, now part of Sang-hyun's circle, begins to admire him even more. Sang-hyun introduces his team's vice president, Jong-hui, and together with Sehun, they register as candidate number 1, while Wondae and Yu-gyung register as candidate number 2. The teacher instructs Wondae to find a new partner quickly. After school, Sang-hyun invites Sehun to hang out with him and Mina. They ride the bus together, laughing and bonding, and later eat dinner at a restaurant. Even there, Wondae's calls keep coming, and when Sehun finally answers in the washroom, he avoids confrontation by saying he has been close to Sang-hyun all along. That night, Sang-hyun gives him his smartwatch, making Sehun feel valued and trusted. The next morning, Yu-gyung confronts Sehun for betraying Wondae after he recommended her name, but Sehun insists he does not mean to hurt anyone. Ji-hun, watching their exchange, teases them about secretly dating, which annoys Sehun but amuses Yu-gyung, who later considers Ji-hun a potential teammate. Later in class, Sang-hyun messages Sehun, urging him to end things with Wondae completely. At the same time, Wondae, still struggling to rebuild his team, talks with Yu-gyung about adding Nam-gyung, but she instead recommends Ji-hun, seeing potential in him. At the academy, Sehun overhears a group of girls mocking Sang-hyun, saying he takes 2 losers into his team just to grab attention. Meanwhile, Ji-hun keeps calling him repeatedly, wanting to meet and talk, but Sehun is too caught up in Sang-hyun's busy schedule. He goes with Sang-hyun to a restaurant where Jong-hui is also present. Together, they discuss campaign strategies, election pledges, and ways to gain student support. When Sang-hyun asks if Sehun has prepared anything, Sehun naively shows his old chat with Wondae, making Jong-hui roll her eyes and call him foolish. The next day at school, Sehun asks classmates for their opinions on what changes they would like to see if he wins the election. But soon he is reminded that it is time to elect the new captain of the music club. Yoo-jun quietly asks Sehun to recommend him for the role. Meanwhile, Yu-gyung confronts Nam-gyung after discovering his inappropriate drawing with his signature on it. She and the other girls scold him harshly, and, humiliated, Nam-gyung assumes Sehun exposed him. Though Sehun denies it, saying he does not remember the drawing at all, Nam-gyung's resentment toward him deepens. Later, Nam-gyung publicly apologizes to Yu-gyung in front of the teacher, and the issue is settled. During the club meeting, Wondae recommends Sehun as captain, praising his punctuality and responsibility. But when Sehun receives Ji-hun's message revealing Ji-hun joins Wondae's team, Sehun changes his vote, saying the captain should not only be responsible, but also skilled in music, organization, and editing, and he nominates Yoo-jun instead. Wondae's face goes pale, and Sehun withdraws from the club altogether. Sehun feels betrayed that Ji-hun joined the election, but Ji-hun explains it was Yu-gyung, not Wondae, who invited him. Soon after, Sang-hyun invites Sehun to his birthday party, warning him not to take any photos or videos. The party is lavish, filled with both school and college students, loud music, and alcohol. When Sehun refuses to drink, one guy mocks him, causing him to lose his temper and drink several glasses. Drunk and provoked, Sehun gets into a fight until Jae-won steps in and calms him down, even giving him a few self-defense tips. Among the guests, Sehun also spots Yu-gyung. The next morning, Sehun wakes up beside Mina, shocked and confused. Later, while talking with Ji-hun at a store, Sehun tells him to keep what happened a secret. Meanwhile, campaign tensions rise at school. Supporters of Candidate 1 start putting up posters early, angering Wondae, who calls it an unfair move since campaigning hasn't officially begun. The atmosphere in Sehun's class turns hostile, with students splitting into rival groups. Kim-gi and Jong-soo begin bullying Sehun to humiliate him, but when Jae-won notices marks on Sehun's neck, he asks who did it. Sehun doesn't tell him anything, so an angry Jae-won leaves on his bike. Moments later, the police arrive at the school and take Wondae away, leaving Sehun and the other students stunned and deeply worried about what's happening. Sang-hyun brings in In-jeong, who once served as vice president in his brother's class, to manage his campaign strategy and guide the team. The next day, Ji-hun insists on taking Sehun out to eat, hinting that the date, October 12th, should mean something, but Sehun doesn't realize it's Ji-hun's birthday. He promises to go after his music class, but when Sang-hyun calls him for a photo shoot with Jong-hui, the shoot runs late into the night. On the call, Sehun tells Ji-hun he can't make it, unaware that Ji-hun is sitting at a nearby restaurant celebrating his birthday with friends, disappointed that his best friend forgot. Slowly, distance starts to grow between them. At school, Jong-soo, who was earlier involved in bullying, comes to Sehun's class after being beaten by Jae-won. He apologizes and proudly announces that he has now become the chief of security for Sang-hyun's team, with Kim-gi also joining. During a campaign meeting, Jong-hui shows Sang-hyun a collection of last year's pledges that she has organized alone. Sehun feels hurt that she didn't tell him, but Sang-hyun quickly distracts him by assigning him the task of finding a place for the campaign banner, only for Sehun to discover that Hyunjin has already handled it. Feeling useless and sidelined, Sehun begins to doubt his role on the team. Meanwhile, the school learns that the police didn't arrest Wondae, but honored him for helping expose a voice-phishing scam, which only boosts his reputation. Sehun, realizing his mistake, feels embarrassed for having worried unnecessarily. Soon after, In-jeong takes charge of Candidate 1's campaign and orders all members to start gathering information on their opponents and to sabotage anything that might give them an advantage. After school, Sehun walks home with Jong-hui but runs into Mina. Nervously, he asks what happened that night. Mina laughs and tells him nothing serious occurred. He just drank too much, and she helped him clean up. She teasingly adds that if Sang-hyun wins, they can think about it. Relieved, Sehun spends the whole night scrolling through her social media, so much so that he oversleeps and ends up late for the first day of the campaign. In his rush, he leaves his uniform on the bus, arrives in casual clothes, and becomes the center of jokes. As both teams announce their campaign pledges, ranging from modernizing school facilities to offering wireless chargers, Ji-hun performs the theme song for his team, instantly winning cheers and boosting their popularity. Instead of focusing on his own campaign, Sehun keeps getting drawn to Ji-hun's impressive performance, which frustrates Sang-hyun's team. When the first day of campaigning ends, Won-dae lifts everyone's spirits with his energy and optimism. Later, after everyone leaves, Candidate 1 privately approaches Sehun, flattering him by saying he is the most important member of their team. Pretending to value his opinion, she subtly asks him about the opponent's rumors and weaknesses. Without realizing her manipulative intent, Sehun ends up revealing the secret about Ji-hun's fake report cards. The first day's results clearly favor Candidate 1, which makes Sang-hyun furious. He warns Sehun not to embarrass him again. On the way, Sehun receives a call from Ante-oh, who wants to meet him privately to discuss something important. While they are talking, a bike suddenly speeds past him, brushes his arm, and makes him fall. Though the injury is minor, he ends up in the hospital. Sehun's parents rush to see him, and when Jaewon hears the news, he arrives quickly as well. After his parents leave, Won-dae also shows up, saying he heard from the police that someone from their school was injured. Seeing a scratch on his leg and noticing his helmet, Sang-hyun and Jaewon begin to suspect him. When asked how he came, Won-dae replies simply that he rode his bike. The next morning, Sehun arrives at school with a bandage on his head, prompting whispers that he is only pretending to gain sympathy votes. Meanwhile, Jung-hui shows up without her glasses, catching everyone's attention with her new look. Even Sehun is momentarily stunned. As the campaign continues, Candidate 1 performs his theme song with the full chorus, while Sang-hyun promises to open a school cafe with free coupons for a year, earning laughter for his exaggerated pledges. Candidate 2 counters by proposing an umbrella rental service for rainy days. Later, Sehun meets Ji-hun after Ji-hun's play and talks about his injury, but Sehun cannot hide his jealousy. Afterward, Ante-oh shows Sehun a photo he took in the music room, a list ranking the top 15 students. Next to Sehun's name, the note reads, "His image is bad, so he cannot be recommended, but can be considered for charity votes." Angered, Sehun realizes Won-dae wrote it, since Won-dae is the one who prepared the list. Meanwhile, as Won-dae gives an interview with his team, Sang-hyun sees it and loses his temper, accusing them of cheating. He storms into the teacher's office and demands strict action. Afterward, when Sehun suggests they make their own puppet like the others, Sang-hyun snaps and yells at him to stop being useless and do something meaningful. Hurt by his words, Sehun sneaks into the school that night and damages the campaign puppets. The next day, the teachers find the destroyed puppets and announce that sneaking into the school at night is a serious offense. Nam-gyeong immediately blames the rival team, calling them troublemakers. Furious, Sehun argues back, telling him to stop talking nonsense without proof. His outburst angers Sang-hyun, who drags him aside, slaps him, and warns him not to ruin their team's image again. In the campaign, Candidate 2 chooses silence to protest the injustice done to them, while Candidate 1 takes full advantage of the situation. They lure students with promises of free smartwatches and even hire a professional chef to impress everyone, quickly pulling ahead in votes. But just as their victory seems certain, a shocking revelation surfaces. Nam-gyeong admits in a written statement that he once drew offensive sketches of Yu-gyeong and shared them with Do-hee and Sehun. Though he claims that he has already apologized, his confession badly damages Sehun's image. Enraged, Sehun asks Jong-soo to teach Nam-gyeong a harsh lesson since he cannot do it himself during the election period. Jong-soo, frustrated by the chaos, agrees. Meanwhile, Yu-gyeong confronts Nam-gyeong, telling him that she forgave him long ago and does not want to be dragged into more trouble. At the same time, Won-dae begins manipulating Nam-gyeong with smooth words, pretending to be on his side while subtly controlling him. Later, Won-dae learns about Sang-hyun's birthday party, and when he discovers that Yu-gyeong has attended, he becomes furious, checks her phone, and warns her not to meet anyone until the election ends. That same evening, Jong-soo hides near Nam-gyeong's house with a bag of bricks, ready to attack. Meanwhile, Sehun spots two boys with photos from Sang-hyun's party and quickly reports it to Jaewon, but he realizes something is off, pointing out that those boys are not even the ones who attended, only their older brother attended. When Sehun talks about teaching them a lesson, Jaewon reminds him that pain does not justify hurting others. Feeling guilty, Sehun tries to stop Jongsu, but his phone dies. He rushes to Namgyung's house with Jaewon, where Jongsu is about to drop the bag. In a tense moment, the bag slips and Jaewon shields Namgyung, taking the hit himself. The next day, rumors swirl again when Namgyung and Do-hee are seen shaking hands, raising suspicions of another alliance. During the campaign, both teams sing and dance to their theme songs, but chaos breaks out when Namgyung exposes Sang-hyun's birthday party, showing photos of students drinking and smoking. The scandal spreads quickly, destroying Candidate 1's reputation and siphoning votes. In-gyung scolds Sang-hyun for his recklessness, while students mock him around school. Yoo-jun, disappointed by Won-dae's manipulative behavior, begins to distance himself. Amid all the tension, Jaewon confides in Sehun that he has had enough of everything, and that once the elections are over, he just wants to escape the chaos and enjoy a peaceful time with his friends again. As the campaign nears its end, Sehun learns from Jongsu that shocking news has been posted on the school's community board, claiming that Ji-hun makes and sends fake report cards. Along with the post, an anonymous voice chat is shared in which the supposed witness confesses everything. In reality, it is Sehun's own recording, the one he made when he trusted In-gyung and told her everything. Although his voice is altered, Sehun feels betrayed and furious. He immediately confronts Sang-hyun, demanding an explanation, but Sang-hyun calmly replies that it is necessary to boost their votes and reminds him that his voice is disguised anyway. He even mocks Sehun for caring so much about Ji-hun, saying that if Ji-hun cared about him, he would not have joined Won-dae's side. By evening, Sehun repeatedly messages Ji-hun, but there is no reply. Instead, Won-dae finds him and bitterly says he is disappointed, claiming he recognizes Sehun's voice in the recording. He accuses Sehun of betraying his own friends, saying even Ji-hun once believed Sehun was too kind to do something like this. Meanwhile, Yoonji, Sang-hyun, and Jaewon secretly discuss deleting the photos from the account where all the leaks happen. On the other hand, Yoo-jun and several others begin to distance themselves from Won-dae's team, disgusted by how far things have gone. It is the final day of campaigning, and both teams give their last pitches. Sehun tries to lift his team's spirits by organizing a challenge, pouring ice-cold water over themselves, and even convinces Jaewon to join in. Across the school, Candidate 2 takes selfies with students, trying to win back support, but tension lingers. Ji-hun, who has just returned from the disciplinary committee, looks distraught until Namgyung encourages him to stay strong. Soon after, chaos erupts when police arrive at school with the boy who leaked the party photos. He has been severely beaten, and they accuse Jaewon of assault. The truth soon unfolds. The night before, Sang-hyun forces the boy to delete the account, and when the boy refuses, Jaewon, under pressure, attacks him. As the police take Jaewon away, Sang-hyun promises to send a lawyer. During the presidential speeches, Sang-hyun admits to Sehun that he has manipulated him all along. Meanwhile, Jaewon's mother tearfully begs forgiveness for her son's mistake. Finally, during the live broadcast, Sang-hyun panics when students throw eggs at him, ruining his tablet. Encouraged by Sehun, he throws it aside and confesses everything, admitting that he used people, framed Ji-hun, and hosted the party. Kneeling, he apologizes and says that as president, he now wishes to truly serve the school. The final vote begins soon after. After the votes are counted, Sang-hyun calls Jaewon to ask why he is not answering the lawyer's calls. Jaewon calmly replies that he has already settled things with the victim and tells him not to rely on others next time if he plans to hurt someone. After hanging up, he throws the smartwatch Sang-hyun gave him into the trash, symbolizing the end of their bond. Soon after, the election results are announced. Candidate 1 wins by a small margin. Both candidates shake hands, setting aside their grudges, while Sehun cannot hide his joy as he looks at his certificate and brochure. But the happiness does not last long. A call comes from the police station informing Sehun that a witness has been found in the hit-and-run case. The man explains that he saw two boys removing a bike's number plate and later recognized them from a banner asking for leads on the culprit. When shown photos, he confirms they are Sang-hyun's followers. Sehun rushes to tell the teacher, but things take an unexpected turn when CCTV footage reveals Sehun entering the school that same night, the night of the puppet incident. The teacher dismisses his claims, accuses him of trying to destroy evidence, and warns him not to defame his own team right after their victory. Feeling helpless, Sehun walks away, lost in thought. On his way home, he sees two friends laughing together, which reminds him of Ji-hun and of how he ruined their friendship. Wanting to make things right, he visits Ji-hun's house with his favorite chicken, but Ji-hun refuses to meet him. Later, when he calls Sang-hyun, he senses Sang-hyun is lying about attending a family event. Sehun goes to his place anyway, where Jaewon opens the door. Inside, he finds Sanghyun, Mina, Junghui, and Yu-gyung enjoying themselves. Furious, he throws the student council certificates at Sanghyun. Sanghyun, irritated by his presence, tells him to leave, but Sehun demands to know why he was chosen for the team. Sanghyun mocks him, saying he only needs a loser like him to make himself look better. As tensions rise, Sehun accuses him of staging the accident for sympathy votes, revealing he has a witness. Enraged, Sanghyun attacks him, but Sehun records everything. When Sanghyun grabs a bottle to strike him, Jaewon steps in, trying to stop him. In a fit of rage, Sanghyun throws a statue that smashes the window, drawing the neighbors' attention. The police arrive and take him away. Later, burdened by everything that has happened, Sehun decides to leave school. His friends come to see him off one last time. After 361 days, Sehun waits at a bus stop when Jihun arrives in his Porsche. Happy to see his old friend's success, Sehun joins him for a drive. Passing their old school, they stop for a moment and notice that Yoon Jung-hui is now the youngest student council president, which makes Sehun smile proudly. As they walk back, Sehun learns from Jihun that Sang-hyun is moving to the US soon. Jihun then asks about Jaewon, but Sehun admits they have not spoken since graduation. When asked about his own future, Sehun says he has not planned anything yet. Sehun stands for a moment, imagining the old campaign days with the red and blue teams cheering for him. Then, as Jihun drives off, Sehun smiles softly and follows behind, bringing the story to a close. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. This small gesture may be nothing to you, but it means everything to us, as it keeps us motivated to post more. And as always, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.